Okay, now let me put y'all up on Anchor if you're not familiar. Man, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me break it down for you. Now, first of all, it's free. Now, Anchor has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, or anywhere else where you can find podcasts. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Now make sure to go download the free Anchor app and go to anchor.fm to get started.
Yo, this your boy Tony B, and I just jumped off the porch, a dirty glove bastard. Bow! Get off my porch!
All right, so we got Tony B off the porch with us today.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling today, man?
Man, good, blessed.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming by today, man.
And appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, so let's take it back, man. What was it like growing up in Athens, Georgia for you?
It's considered a country town, so you got UGA, you know, they mainly focus more on UGA, and the students call us locals.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that didn't really never sit well with me, but it's pretty cool, you know, everybody knew everybody. I mean, you have your problems just like any other small town.
Yeah. Has the city changed much over the years? It's pretty much still the same.
They're trying to gentrify it right now.
Really?
Yeah, and that's not good. It's like going up on rent, and people in low-income apartments, they're trying to move them out or demolish everything they got going on with the old ones and rebuild them. So it's a big thing going on about that right now.
Okay. All right, man. So how'd you get started off as a club promoter?
I went to college in Augusta, and when I went to college in Augusta, I would come home every weekend. But every time I would come home, I would like come back to Athens. I'm like, man, this shit boring. I was like, man, this boring. So I'd come home, wash my clothes, party a little bit, and go right back to Augusta the next day because I'd be bored. So I hooked up with some locals from Augusta because I was somewhat popular on campus. So I hooked up with some locals that went to Payne College as well, and we just started doing parties. And it's a private Methodist college. So we hooked up with some club owners and just started doing parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you booking artists or was it just strictly
we
parties?
were just straight parties.
Okay.
Yeah. We had to compete against like 8-9 other venues.
Yeah.
So that right there made my marketing and promotion strong,
Okay.
you know.
So what separated you guys' parties from everyone else in Augusta then?
I was popping on campus and they was popping with the locals. And you got to think, we was getting like 12th graders and freshmen, and Augusta is like the second largest city in Georgia. So it was enough younger people and college students, because you had Augusta State, Payne, Augusta Tech, Troy State, all of that around there. So what we would do, we would go to the campuses and just pass out flyers. Nowadays, people don't pass out flyers. It's straight social media.
Yeah, it's all online.
Yeah.
So when did you start to book some artists?
Fast forward, I didn't start booking artists until when I left. I caught a charge, marijuana charge, trafficking charge in Augusta. Took first offender, came back home. I transferred to South Carolina State. Out-of-state fee was too much. Moved back to Augusta and was just like, forget it. Moved back to Athens in like 2008. And I started doing parties at a club called Safari. And something went wrong with that venue. Well, I had issue with the owner. I found out they was trying to get over on me. So a guy called my brother named Philan, he introduced me to this club called The Library, which was downtown Athens. And it just went from there. And so I was making so much money, like Tuesday, Thursday. I was doing parties Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I was like, let me try to invest in an artist. And that's when I was frequently booking Young LA and Young Ralph.
Okay.
And those guys, I built a relationship with those guys and ended up getting free verses from those guys. That's how I started doing music. That's one of the reasons why I started doing music, because I had built a relationship. And I had booked Young Ralph for his, I think it was a mixtape release party. And I did like 1,000 people in a venue that capacity was 390.
Shit.
And they had started calling the fire marshal on us and everything. And we like had lost money one night. We had Shawty Low come down. And the fire marshal was at the club at 11 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So all of these, and they was clicking. So I'm like, damn, man, we just spent $15,000 on Shawty Low and we lost. That was my first loss. And a couple years later, I was Nicki Minaj's first show in Georgia.
Really?
Yes. That's when Waka, Mama, Deb Atney, she was doing the booking for her.
Okay.
She was managing her, yeah.
Yeah.
And now people like, I still got the drop from Nicki Minaj. And I was putting the drop on my mixtape. And people were like, how you know Nicki Minaj? Is this her for real? And me, like, I don't have money to put my music out at the time. So what I ended up doing was putting her drop on there, like intro by Nicki Minaj, and she shouting me out or whatever and saying Athens. So, Tony B got Nicki Minaj on this mixtape. Let me go listen to this mixtape. That was just a gimmick to get people to listen to it, and it worked.
Yeah.
So.
Where did you book her at? Was that in Atlanta or where was that?
No, that was Athens. That was
Okay.
like 2010.
Okay.
It was a spot called El Pasino.
Yeah. How'd you do that night?
Again, I was popping during the parties. I had like a little promotion group. And I would ask the girls, like, who do y'all want to see in concert? It was like Nicki Minaj. I'm like, who?
You didn't even know.
I'm like, I go Google. I'm not listening to her. And I still have the contract. She was $5,500.
Oh, wow.
And when I booked her, and it's on YouTube, the girls were singing her songs. I'm like, how in the hell? I'm in the club every night, and I don't know who she is. So that was a pretty good look, actually.
Okay. So what had inspired you to start making music yourself?
When I came back from Augusta, this promoter, he really never had no competition. So I kind of became, he was doing parties at the library. So I became competition and ended up getting in at the library. So he would say little slick stuff via social media. Okay, cool. It just kept going on. We was going back and forth. So, when Shawty Low said, it must be two sides. And the guy really wasn't a street guy, but would put on that persona like he's a street guy. So I had a producer just sample that Shawty Low must be two sides. And it caught. And people was like in the club throwing up too. I'm like, I'm on to something. And just kept seeing the people's reaction was one thing, but me hosting these events, I'm hosting all of my parties. So, and I know music, and I'm seeing I can make people dance. I can make people have a good time. So, Tony, let's try to do this music thing, because I was doing acting. I went to school for theater and mass comm, and I did a couple of voiceovers, sit-ins, and I was in the comedy golf movie Who's Your Caddy with Big Boy, Faison Love, and Andy Milonakis. And the speaking role I did have didn't make it.
Oh, really?
But I still was in a couple of scenes in the movie. I got 2 checks from it.
Can't be mad
So that's
at
all
that.
that counts.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that. So when did you move to Atlanta?
2010.
Okay. So what'd you think of Atlanta? Were you already booking shows out here, or was that your first time coming
Now,
out here?
when I was in Atlanta, when I moved to Atlanta, I still was going back to Athens to do my events, because it's, again, less competition. In Atlanta, the shit was saturated, very saturated. So, and I don't know nobody. It was so hard to get into clubs and do this stuff and network with people, because they already had the people they wanted to work with. So I just make that hour 20-minute ride back to Athens and do my events.
Okay. And going back to the club promoters, is there normally a lot of beef between the club promoters, or is it more competition and just?
At first it wasn't, but how I see it when I got to Athens from Augusta, certain clubs was just relaxed because they feel like they didn't have any competition. They was on the road. And I brung that drive, those different themes, and now they started like, oh shit, like we got competition. And again, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I was packing out the library.
Those are the busiest days too.
Yeah, and then like people would get mad, like, oh, Tony B's doing stuff on the same day we doing stuff. Bro, these are the dates the club gave me. And I'm not about to not do nothing because you got something going on. You think McDonald's is shutting down because Wendy's is down the street not making no money? It's made the best man win. I got mouths to feed. So at the end of the day, you got bills, I got bills. You don't hear me complaining about you doing stuff on the same day I'm doing stuff.
Yeah. So when did you start taking music serious as like being an artist yourself?
I did a song called Hey Lady, featuring Ben Stevens. And I wrote it because I was coming from Athens to Atlanta doing open mics. And I was like, I'm a big R&B fan, and it's like an R&B song. So I went through 2 people that couldn't really sing it right. So somebody was like, get Ben Stevens. So I got Ben Stevens, and he knocked it out in like 30 minutes. And that was like 2009. Okay. And I just now put the song again on the tape and just shot an official video to it this year.
Really?
And that's how big it is. So I had booked Rocko one show, and he texted me the next day. I was in church. He was like, appreciate y'all booking me, bringing me out there. Let me know whatever I can do for you. So I texted him back. I'm like, I'm in church. I was like, can you do a listening session with me? Just check out my music. I only had like 5 songs at the time because I was still in the streets and doing parties. I really wasn't investing no money in music. So Rocko met me, parked my car, and got in his black Hummer. He was just taking me around and listening to the music. He was like, this Hey Lady song can get you $1 million.
That's it.
And what people don't know, he was like, just maybe like 2009, 2010, he was like, I'm working with this cat named Future. And this was the time Future was bubbling, but I'm cocky. Now I'm in the car with Rocko, and I'm doing all these parties in Athens, and none of my DJs are playing no Future songs. I'm like, you telling me I got $1 million song, and you working with this, you know what I'm saying, you starting to work with this cat named Future. I ain't going for that. Following year, guess who blows up? Future. And anytime Rocko would come to Athens, he'll pull up on me. When we book him, he's like, I'm at the mall, getting something to wear. So I meet him at the mall. I never ever in my life sat in the back seat of a Maybach. I pulled up to the mall. He's like, you want to ride with me? But I didn't ever ride with him because I was with somebody else. And so I'm in the back seat of a Maybach. I'm like, damn, it's crazy. Because anytime Rocko would come to Athens, he would come in a Ferrari. He would come in a Maybach. He was always coming in something expensive. And once Rocko, that gave me a lot of drive to hear somebody of that status, like him and Young Ralph, like those my favorite 2 people as artists in Atlanta. I think that don't get enough credit because they're humble and they don't mind looking out.
Yeah, real shit, man. So who are all the artists you've worked with so far? You mentioned Young LA and Young Ralph, right?
Yeah. As far as like me being an artist or just booking?
As an artist. Yeah.
That's it. Just
Okay.
Young Ralph. I'm not real big on features because they kind of drains the artist out, especially if some people want to hear. Some people just want to hear who the feature is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just fall back from that because my songs were doing. Once I got serious with it, not all of my songs, but the songs that I started pushing was doing well without a feature.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, talk to us about this Scrub the Ground single that you had.
It's a journey with this record. I was at Spin's Pizza spot on Peter Street, and it was like a college night. And the DJ played the original version of Scrub the Ground. Mm-hmm. I walked out of the Spins and called 3 producers. Keo with Beat Kings and Black Academy. 2 more other guys. They sent me some beats. I'm like, y'all didn't do the sample right. So I called this guy named Bizzo, which I knew him from Augusta. And he got placement with Gucci, Rocko, I think Benny Siegel, because he's from Philly too. So he sent me the sample. I said, shoo. So I take the sample with no verses, just the hook. Went to Peaches of Atlanta, the rough of the roughest strip club. So DJ Be Easy was in there. I gave him the record. He said, he actually put the actual instrumental with just the sample hook in rotation. It was like on a Tuesday, I went back on a Friday. He had played it 36 times.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, Tony, I don't know what you're gonna put on these verses, but it better not be no BS because this record is hard. That was 2017. So I go lay the verses down. I send it to DJ Hershey. Tony B, I need you to come perform this record. So now it's starting to bubble. I'm getting booked to do team parties, proms, homecomings, pep rallies. Meridian, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. Fatboy Rhymer booked me at Club Take One in Miami, Florida. I'm like, this is huge, and that's a Florida-based record. Mm-hmm. And people will always say, like, if you ever catch in Florida with this record, since it's a Florida-based record, you're gonna stay booked down here a lot. So that record just kept me going, but keep in mind it was a sample record. So my old manager Zeke was like, hey Tony, you need to use this as a stepping stone, because if that record blow up, they're gonna send you a cease and desist. Mm-hmm. So we just kept pushing it, and like I got smart, so I started booking out the club for my own performances. I seen T.I. do that in Augusta. So I booked the club and I performed, so it was like a $7,500 show.
Oh shit.
And so I got smart. Already I went to school for marketing. Mm-hmm. Like I'm trying to find a way to promote myself, and I'm already popular during the parties. So then, fast forward, just getting booked doing little stuff, $250, $300 to perform for 3 minutes, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Every time Tennessee play UGA, I'm booked in Knoxville, Tennessee. Because I'm from Georgia and I knew the DJ, so the DJ would actually pay me, or get the promoters to pay me to come up and perform. And all this footage is documented, so anybody want to check it out, go to YouTube. So now I shot stemmed over video in Blue Flame. It was cool. Shot another video, it was cool. So I'm about to actually spend some money and shoot a real type Hype Williams Scrub the Ground video.
Oh, really?
And anytime that record comes on in the club, anytime, the whole club changes. You say, I tagged in some of the footage. I had women taking off clothes, like everything. Every time I post the video of the girl taking off her shirt, could you please take that down? And now she's a dancer. Really? I run it, right? So I feel like that song helped branded me. And you got to think, I've done over 300 performances with that record.
Oh, wow.
300. Just imagine if I get the right machine behind it. It'll be a wrap. Like, it's a big dance record. I don't care where you at. I got booked to host and perform at a wedding reception a couple of months ago. That record, and even though I'm from the street life or whatever, I grew up in the club. So I like to see women. I don't want to see guys bouncing around. I want to see women twerk. And last year before COVID, I was on 44 paid shows independently. I can't say you can't name because I don't know who you know, but very seldom you get a guy with no budget getting booked at all these type of shows. Mm-hmm. 44 paid shows in less than a year, and COVID messed that up.
Yeah.
So just imagine, where I would have been without COVID. So I'm about to push that even harder now. I've been saving, and I was always waiting on an investor, but no need to wait on an investor when you can do it yourself. So if it do blow up, I don't owe nobody.
Real shit.
I'm pocketing everything. Only people I owe are the people that owns the record.
And you got a song coming out with Young Dro?
Yeah, it's called Fuck 'Em. And that was when I first did the record, I was just taking it to like DJs, servicing it, as I do any record I feel comfortable with. And They was like, yeah, it's a pretty cool record. And I heard it's kind of like an animated song, like a Black Youngster or The Baby. I was like, I can't afford those people. But I had a relationship with Young Dro people, and Young Dro, official DJ, was my college roommate.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, I was trying to get him to do, hook it up at the price, but I wasn't feeling the price, so I went and DM Young Dro myself and saved myself $1,500.
Really?
Yeah, and the DJ, I think he kind of upset about that because you can tell when it's bad energy or bad vibes when you go around somebody that you never had bad energy or bad vibes with. And like he would play my song when nobody's really in the club, but when it's packed, he won't play my record. So I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Like, what I got to pay you to play my record? Oh, you my homeboy. You know that homeboy stuff is out there though. What are you charging me to play my record? So if I can afford it, I'll give it to you. If not, then I'll keep it moving. But just don't leave me, hanging out to dry like that, because you making it seem like all of this about that I didn't go through you to get the feature.
Yeah, that's weak right there.
I'm not going to say that, but that's the vibe I was getting. About a couple of $100. That's what people in this game got the game totally messed up, because you put money before relationships. And I understand that sometimes people get burnt out trying to have good relationships, so they doing it for money, but relationships go a long way. Mm-hmm. And I've built so many relationships with people doing parties and stuff like that. Now when I go to these clubs, half of the clubs I go to in Atlanta, I walk right in. Or the DJ's playing my record, like, you gotta take no thumb drive, you gotta email them the record. No, DJ's not obligated to play my record, but I could be somewhere else and somebody from my hometown could be in a Magic City or Blue Flame. They're like, you in the club? I'm like, nah, listen, they playing your record. And that's definitely, salute to the DJs, because they made all that possible.
Yeah. And you got a project on the way called The Parade?
The Parade, yes.
Yeah. Well, can you explain that title?
The Parade. Okay, my analogy with the parade is, say like these pro teams, once they win a Super Bowl or a championship, they go back home and do what? Have a parade. But in order to win a championship, you got to wins, losses, blood, sweat, tears, practices. You got to go through a lot in order to win a championship. Nothing is just breezy. So I feel like I've defeated the devil. I defeated everybody that's been against me. I've took my wins and losses, and I came out on top. So now, instead of waiting till something bad happens, no, we finna celebrate me now. I won. So when this project drops, it's time. It's a celebration. It's time for the parade. Through this journey, I've had a kid, and that's extra motivation. I got to leave him with something. I don't want to just be like, oh, I left my son with jewelry and shoes, and oh, your dad used to be this. No, my son needs everything that I want, and everything that I can't get. My goal is to make sure he have it when I leave here. So it's, we trying to celebrate me now, celebrate what I've done, because where I'm from, I think I'm somewhat of a legend. Just not on no, millionaire status, but I'm somewhat of a legend. So we're gonna celebrate me, and the parade is dope. Yeah. It's like a roller coaster. I got a song in there called Wins and Losses. I got the twerk song, Scrub. And nowadays, if you listen to most mixtapes or albums, people on there got 12, 15 songs talking about the same stuff, just on different beats. So when I go somewhere and perform, I'm like, dang, I can't compete with that, because I guess that's what they want to hear. It was a independent label here in Atlanta. So I paid to do a consultation. Go to my Instagram. Oh, you don't got enough followers, okay? You don't got the sound we want. That's fine. But y'all got over 20-something artists on your label, only 2 doing a lot of shows. So you mean to tell me this year alone I'm over 44 shows in and over 300 performances on this Scrub record? You can't work with that? And I think, I'm not gonna say no one's intimidated, but you gotta look, once they see and hear how you talk and see they can't hit you, get over on you, they kind of shy away from that. Not saying that's the case, but I know what I got. I know I can make somebody some money. I'm making myself money independently, 44 shows paid. That's not including doing favors for DJs, and just so you know. I know you spending my record, so guess what? I'm gonna come perform for you for free. They're just keeping my relationship there. I'm not even counting those shows, but 44 paid shows and over 300 performances of that Scrub the Ground record. Like, it's not unheard of, but damn, this boy's grinding. Mm-hmm. Out my own pocket, nobody's giving me anything. And there was one trick I learned when I first moved here. When you asked me how's Atlanta treating me, I had to understand, like, there's a lot of big boy shit going on around here. Like, I'm like, I had like $500 and my rent was due the following week. I gotta promote this Scrub record. So if I go to the strip club at night, I'm gonna spend $500 in one strip club because that's when everybody's in the strip club. I took $300 and went to 6 strip clubs all before 9 p.m. Wax, Babes, Blue Flame, Magic City, Peaches of Atlanta, and Kamal's. Well, it's Platinum 21 and when it was Kamal's. I built a relationship with all those DJs and pinups. $300 because you got to go and you got to think. Day shift, there's nobody really in there, but a lot of executives be in there eating. Mm-hmm. You get to build with the DJ. So I might go throw 50 here, just get a DJ some money, just to test the record. And I would do that. And I took that chance and it worked. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but people making these excuses, oh, I can't move around. And another analogy I like to use is when you play basketball, the coach say move without the ball to create a play. So I'm moving without money to create opportunity. And that's exactly what I did. I ended up getting booked by a stripper to perform at Pinups last year.
Really?
Like, people go there to throw money. She actually paid me to come and perform. And that was a good look. Yeah. So all of this to me is just really like a blessing in telling me to keep going. Because as soon as I give up, I could be right there at it. So every day I wake up motivated, even if I'm having a bad day, even if it's raining, I'm still gonna make sure I'm gonna do some type of work to get myself out there. Yeah. You can't tell me no. You don't like the record, it's not gonna work. That's your opinion. That's your problem. That's on you. But guess what? It's people in my hometown. Oh, he's still performing Scrub. Dude, I'm still getting booked to perform Scrub. So just because this song is a couple years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, I don't supposed to perform it? No, you got life messed up because guess what? As long as they say, hey, I'm going to send you this deposit, I'm on the way. I don't give a damn where it's at. I'm going. And a lot of people started recognizing, like, this guy ain't gonna stop. I shot a video in Medellin, Colombia, in Pablo's neighborhood. So it's called Put a Name on It. The hate had got so bad, it was like, oh, he wasn't over there shooting a video. It was green screen. Bro, how can I green screen Medellin, Colombia? And so once I shot the video, that was like a couple of years ago. I see Cameron just shot a video over there like a year and a half ago. I see TMZ, oh, Cameron's over there in Medellin, Colombia shooting a video in the rough parts of, I was in the same place with no damn security. Y'all only praising Cameron because it's Cameron. But look, I was over there with no entourage, just me and my people in Pablo's neighborhood. His helipad with the jail was in there, was shooting a video. So that's I think my only reason why I may need a big stamp or an investor or to get the extra push, the extra notoriety, and then more people would cling to me.
Yeah, feel that. All right, what can you tell us about the situation where you're beefing with a club owner as well?
Well, what happened was when I came back from Augusta, we started doing parties. If there was another club nearby, so I'll go put out flyers in the club. He was like, "Hey, you got to get out of here putting flyers out of my club," which I know that was disrespectful. So I would leave the club and just sit outside and put flyers on cars. So he was sending a security guard outside. Hey, you need to leave from the sidewalk. You can't tell me to leave from the sidewalk. So stuff had, their business had started to decline because everybody started migrating to where I was at. So my homeboy, he's a barber, and he saw me downtown one night. He was like, "Hey, you need to be careful because old boy trying to get you hurt." Oh, okay. So 2 weeks later, I go back in the club. When I was coming in, they was like, "You don't got no flyers on you, do you?" I'm like, no, I ain't got no flyers. So I see one of my homeboys that just had got out of prison from like 8 years. And he was like, and I see him over there talking to the owner of the venue. So he came over there, he was like, hey, old boy don't know me, you know each other. Be careful though, you know, like, he ain't real. But that guy he sent over there, you know, I guess that was supposed to allegedly do the hit or try to harm me, his brother was my best friend. We played Little League football together. So he kept it all the way real because he could have did whatever for the money. But he told me, he was like, Holmes ain't who he's supposed to be. So, you know, just stay out his way. And so, you know, I took heat just last week. Other week, my homeboy told me he was trying to get me hurt. Then the person you tried to hurt me, you didn't know we had a relationship. So he came and told me. And later down the line, the person who he tried to hurt me went on a spree and did some crazy stuff to some people. You know, I'm still cool with him. Like, I even talked to him on the phone from prison. You know, and I still got utmost respect. We've always had utmost respect for each other. But for somebody to try to harm you because you slow down their money, I wasn't doing no hating stuff. I'm trying to eat just like you trying to eat. Get your promoters to get on their game because I was on mine. And people that know that, a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people do know that, you know. And I ended up going back years later doing business with the same person that supposed to did the hit or whatever, or get me hurt. But they always say, you can watch them, you know, I'm in your face now, so I know if anything go on. You know, I'm always on my P's and Q's, but guess what? I don't think you that gangster, so I'm finna do these parties with you, and I'm gonna get my bread. But I'm gonna watch you at the same time. I'm not coming to no events to kick with at your house. We're not friends, we none of that. I'm link up with my other people, we're gonna get this bread and go home. So that was it. But I was barred from a lot of it because they own a couple of venues. I was barred from a couple of venues for a minute because they got a check and they got a couple of spots. Oh, Tony B, you can't come in here. So that right there showed me how much power I had as an individual. Like, you barred me from your club? For what? Y'all got all this money. You want me hurt? Y'all got all this money. Just do more. I mean, that's what it's all about, doing more and doing better. And so I've been promoting now for a while, and if my name go on the flyer, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a major event. Or some people, like, they'll hit me up, you doing this party? Oh, no, I'm not hosting this party. Or, well, I just go to the next one you hosting. Do you know how good that made me feel? So, yeah, that's what it is.
All right, Tony, any shout-outs before we wrap it up?
Yeah, man, shout out to the whole Athens, all the independent artists in Athens. Of course, you guys. Salute all of the DJs. And that's it, man. Stay blessed, man. More blessings, more life to everybody out here, man. Let's get it.